Here's what happened in Breath of the Wild. Spoilers, obviously. All those older Zelda games, don't worry about them. There are 3 time periods you need to know about. 10,000 years ago, 100 years ago, and present day, being the time where you actually play the game, running around Hyrule with a tree branch and a potlet. Going back to the very beginning of the legend of Zelda, about 10,000 years ago, we meet a princess who carries the blood of the goddess Hylia and a hero in green. Sound familiar? Well, it should, because this is how almost every Zelda game begins. The people of Hyrule talking about heroes of years past, Link waking up to chaos, it's always the same. And Breath of the Wild is no different. Except this time, the Hylians of the past knew Ganon was going to rear his ugly head. To get ahead of this, they created the Divine Beast, piloted by 4 champions, as well as a bajillion guardians, as a way to fend off the reincarnated monster. Altogether, the heroes defeated Ganon and sealed them away until the next time he would rise again, and again, and again. There was a prophecy that warned of Ganon's return. The signs of the monster would be obvious, and if they wanted to save the land, their weapons could be found underground. King Basferam, a Hyrule, figures out that Ganon's return must be imminent due to the increase in monsters around Hyrule. So the townspeople get to digging and find the 4 divine beasts and a bunch of guardians. To keep with tradition, they found 4 champions to pilot the machines and selected Link as Zelda's knight and hero of legend, as well as Daruk the Goron, Urbosa the Gerudo, Falco from Star Fox, and Mipha the Zora, who really just wanted to go swimming with Link and just no other reason, probably. We see through memories the moment where Zelda officially knights Link to take the part of the hero of legend, but she's very solemn during the ceremony. The champions give us a little insight into Zelda's issues. She is the princess with the blood of Hylia. Her role involves tapping into the goddess's sealing powers, and hearing the voice that emanates from the Master Sword. Well, as it turns out, none of this is working for her, so she becomes upset that she can't live up to her destiny, and just gets mad at Link for it instead. Like the rest of us, totally relatable. Screw Link. Zelda is obsessed with the ancient technology. She and Link explore Hyrule to her behest, making adjustments to the Divine Beast to prepare for Ganon's arrival. There's another memory that continues to show Zelda being completely fascinated by the technology by obsessively trying to access one of the shrines as she continues her frustration of possibly not living up to her true potential. This Zelda only cares about science, no magic. Science good, magic bad. Zelda also runs around with the Sheikah Slate trying to make it work, but is not good enough at science to figure out how to utilize anything other than the camera function. As the two make their rounds to the Divine Beasts, Link has to save Zelda on multiple occasions, once from the Yiga clan who worship Ganon, and then the ever-increasing number of more powerful monsters that spawn thanks to Ganon. Thanks, Ganon. We see another scene where Zelda's father, King Rome, scolds her for spending too much time with the ancient technology rather than working on unlocking her sealing power. As a result, she takes a trip to the Spring of Power to pray to the goddess and hope for something to happen. But of course, nothing does. On her birthday, Zelda and Link travel to the final spring to see if Zelda's prayers will be answered. Unfortunately, and predictably, nothing happens, and the two come back down the mountain. The 4 champions witness their return and notice that she was unsuccessful because she looks like a sad, lonely puppy. Suddenly, the ground begins to shake, and Ganon appears around Hyrule Castle. The champions run to their divine beasts, and Zelda and Link rush to the castle. But this time, Ganon did something no one was expecting. The Hylians forgot to add antivirus to the ancient technology, and Ganon took complete control over the Guardians that the Hylian people had spent so long trying to reactivate, as well as the Divine Beasts, and forced them to do his bidding. Link and Zelda were barely able to successfully escape Ganon's clutches, but everyone inside the castle, King Rome, and the 4 champions died in the attack. As the heroes are running away, Link uses all of his strength to protect Zelda. He collapses on the ground, but a Guardian approaches ready to attack. So Link stands back up, ready to defend, as Zelda steps in front of him to save his life. As she raises her hand, a glowing light appears and destroys a bunch of the Guardians around them. Link passes out, and Zelda notices the Master Sword's glow. She can finally hear the spirit of the Master Sword and understands that Link can be saved. All she had to do was care about something other than science for once. Link is taken to the Shrine of Resurrection by the Sheikah, and Zelda takes the Master Sword to the Korok Forest to its resting place near the Great Deku Tree. After a conversation with the Great Deku Tree, Zelda heads towards the castle as she waits for Link to wake up. Oh, also, when Zelda awakened her sealing power, a mini guardian robot thing in Zelda's room woke up and, jumped into an alternate dimension, and that's where the Age of Calamity story happens. But don't worry about that game. Link is lying in his puddle and hears a voice calling out to him. But he's lost all of his memories, so he has no idea what the hell is going on. He grabs the Sheikah Slate and makes his way outside to the only opening every open world game now uses. Which, honestly, I completely understand. Cinematic is just breathtaking. Upon exiting, Link meets a super normal old man and hears the same voice from earlier telling him to journey towards the point on his map. Once he arrives, he uses the Sheikah Slate to activate a pedestal which causes many large towers to appear as well as cause shrines around Hyrule to light up. The old man appears out of nowhere and tells Link that if he obtains the treasure inside each of the shrines on the Great Plateau, the old man will gift him his paraglider so he can continue to explore the rest of Hyrule. Once you complete all 4 shrine trials and gain the rune powers on the Sheikah Slate, Link meets up with the old man atop the ruins of the Temple of Time. The man reveals himself to be the ghost of King Rome. So unexpected. King Rome then proceeds to explain the summary of the downfall of Hyrule and Link's destiny to save Zelda, and defeat Ganon before Zelda loses her powers after 100 years of fending off the monster. Since her powers have lasted 100 years, they'll probably last long enough for you to freely explore Hyrule at your leisure. Just ignore most of the Koroks, the final present really isn't worth your time, and Zelda can't wait around for actual years for you to find them all. Or, if you're lucky enough to be sick nasty at the game, you can just run to Ganon completely naked and beat the game in 30 seconds. Or if you want to play the game like the sane person that you are and follow the story, getting better equipment, cooking food, and doing shrines along the way pumps up your health and stamina. King Rome gives Link instructions to head to Kakariko Village to meet with Impa, who tells him all about the legends 10,000 years ago. Impa was also alive 100 years ago during the Calamity. Look at those 100-year-old wrinkles. Oh, she looks great. She then tells him to go to each of the divine beasts and gain control of them from the clutches of Ganon. She also informs him of Pura and Robbie, who help Link upgrade his rune powers to the Plus version to better aid his quest. Does that mean we're gonna get a Switch Plus soon as the next Switch console? Different video. Don't get distracted. Continue. On the Sheikah Slate, there are a few pictures from Link's and Zelda's journey 100 years ago, depicting different areas of Hyrule. As you explore the land, you'll find these locations. At these spots, Link begins to remember bits and pieces of 100 years ago. These memories are the events I previously mentioned leading up to Ganon's initial takeover. Link meets 4 new quasi-champion successors who help him reach each divine beast. Teba the Rito, Riju the Gerudo Queen, Yunobo the Goron, and Prince Sidon of Zora, who also happens to be Mipha's brother. Once inside the divine beasts, Link has to solve puzzles and defeat the Blight Ganons that inhabit each of the machines. While fighting them, he learns that each of the 4 champions died trying to defend against the Blight Ganons. After he is successful, each divine beast is controlled by the spirit of the champion who wrote it 100 years ago, and Link gets a special ability from each champion. If you play the DLC, Link also gets a motorcycle. Just thought it was cool to mention. Anyway, after the Blight Ganons are defeated and the divine beasts are once again controlled by the champions, Link heads to Hyrule Castle to face the real Ganon. As he enters, Zelda states that she is unable to hold him back any longer. Her powers break and the battle ensues. The 4 champions utilize their ancient technology and blast Ganon with whatever these things spit out, taking away half of his health and giving Link a fighting chance. After the first phase of the battle is complete, Link is sent outside Hyrule where Dark Beast Ganon appears. Zelda hands Link the Bow of Light and light arrows, and because it's a video game, she points out the weak points on Ganon so Link can attack the monster for massive damage. Finally, Dark Beast Ganon is defeated, which allows Zelda to seal him away, again, like every other past Zelda game we've ever played. This will be the last time for sure, definitely. After the battle, we get a quick look at Zelda and Link starting their trek around Hyrule to fix everything that fell into ruin during the past 100 years, while the champions and King Rome's ghost can be seen observing them from afar. Zelda talks about how she can no longer hear the voice from the Master Sword and finally accepts that she may never get her powers back again. And this game ends. That's all you really need to know about the story. It kind of seems to be setting up the hero's roles in the next game. Zelda will most likely be obsessed with technology and finding secrets of the past while Link accompanies her, and ultimately she falls through the hole in the ground with Link unable to save her. Or this whole Zelda falling sequence is a dream and Link is asleep. Most of the Zelda games do start with Link waking up from some kind of slumber, so I wouldn't be surprised if this was the case in Tears of the Kingdom. We have yet to see a Zelda Direct. We don't really know anything about the new game at this point, except what very smart, talented, gorgeous, well-educated, good-at-making video sleuth YouTubers have found in extremely short trailers that we've been given. But we have a little bit of time to wait for that. And until then, I'll see you around Hyrule.